We're back. Studio might not be. Not sure, but Fiddlesticks, Alistair, Shin, Draven, Karthus, Jace. How do you even remember who to ban after that one? What a strong 2-0 in the first set, leading to a 66-minute long game at the beginning of the second set, and Orb definitely able to stand their ground against Ferus here. And Fat Bear, you kind of have to cut the music off when your job is not radio DJ, but is instead talker, abouter, the gamer. So, we're going to do this thing. Going to be high grabbing Skarner. Ezreal out for the AD side of things. Vlad going to come onto the field. And yeah, just what great team fights there in that last game. I want to keep dancing around that one. Still got the Draven ban. Will they grab an AD response? It's going to be York. And gonna get
crap! Let's start the picks.
Yeah, they right after we walked away, they clicked. They clicked it.
Oh well, they're tired. They want to get this underway. Let's go through with it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Orb now a game away from taking first place in this one. It's pretty much
dethroning Ferus from the triple win they're going for right now.
Yeah. They got their York. They got their Vlad to go mid. Elimination of V-Team up. V-Team doing a great job on the AD front in that last game. Just everybody. I mean, that's what it took. It took spectacular plays out of the entirety of Orb. The ability to stick with it for an extremely long game there. And do they have it in them to do a quick one? Yesterday, they took out Ferus in a 54-minute game, I want to say, around there, and then a 52-minute game, something like that, and then a 34, 35-minute game for the second game. So will they do a repeat of that to lock in first place? I'm sure they'd love to. But can they?
I think at this point, both teams are just looking for a 10-minute game. We're going to end the game before
20 minutes
on, please.
Just straight across. None of this business. I'm surprised they stuck with Fiddlesticks, Alistair, Shin. Sona's so disruptive into the super late game there. I think what they're thinking, we'll get them taken care of early game. You know.
I do wonder if actually they'll go with the Diana pick, just because High was very awesome with it. Like, he really said, oh wait, they have Skarner. Completely missed that. I'm like, purple thing, what is that? I don't care about that.
Purple? No, I don't like purple guys.
So Skarner actually, though, can be a very decent initiator. You can follow it up with a kind of not but Orianna style initiation, where it's almost like Shyvana, but a different kind of pick-off. You go for one person rather than the whole team. It can be very effective.
Yeah. Orb now a quick shout away from shutting down the three-peat hopes of Ferus. First to go 2 back-to-back and wanted to make it 3, I'm sure. Gonna grab Corki? That's new. Will it be a last-minute switch? Nope, they're gonna lock that one in. Corki Morgana down bottom lane, and Lee Sin going to go somewhere. Probably the jungle.
I would assume the jungle Yorick and jungle Vladimir not considered too popular.
Slow.
Yeah, bit off.
Probably gonna die at the first buff they run across.
Yeah. Well, he'll get a lot of help. He'll die to the first Wraith camp he goes to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what is a top lane if it's not Yuzuki playing Katarina? I'm actually surprised they're going with this. They played against the Yorick before. It did not go very well, but Nyan dodging, I wonder what that was for.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody was in good shape there. Last pick is Kazakh's LOL. No, it's not. But, I mean, they're still going to have a lot of the AoE disruption that they would have had with Diana. On top of it, they're going to be able to peel. Last pick is
No!
Last pick is Syndra. Aphromoo happy to tell you. He's like, I'm just being informative in case you guys didn't know. Last pick, Cat and Tanso just leaving because, you know, that's what
could have been a buggy client.
Yeah, not likely. Not with the Tanso. That guy's rock solid all the time.
It's not Dingo Toss.
Yeah.
Rock solid jokes.
Oh, hey, oh, whoa. There's you know. They were the first team to come out of nowhere and upset the balance, and now they've become part of the balance.
And now teams must upset them.
Yeah.
So that's how the cycle goes.
So, Corki on Aphromoo. just another part of his range, possibly the secret champion pick that he was talking about yesterday. Smithy going to grab Lee Sin, and we roll back through these bands.
Now, I have to wonder, actually, how strong the quirky pick is going to be. We know aphromoo for his Ezreal. We know aphromoo for his, offbeat picks. But this is going to be quirky. This is standard. This is normal, unfun quirky. So I love quirky, so it's okay. I do have to wonder what it's going to be like. I think he's going to be strong, of course, but will he be going for those big plays at the same level he does with, Draven, Misfortune, or Ezreal? Ezreal has that mobility. Draven, Misfortune have that damage. Quirky, his mobility isn't quite that good. It's a bit slower. Valkyrie's not as good as Arcancia. And his damage is spectacular, but I wouldn't call him a high, heavy burst damage like, a high sustained damage like Draven or Misfortune.
Well, I would.
Oh, wait, one more question.
Contribution.
Well, Quirky actually has really low attack speed.
He does. He gets by on the back. I mean, that ultimate is fantastic for poke once it comes up. They nerfed it just a little bit. It hasn't seemed to affect too many Quirky players. I mean, still, it's a whole lot of Ezreal out on the field. We don't really see what is normality here because these guys are playing a lot of unique AD combinations. I mean, Ezreal not unique as VT been bringing him out there, but he brought a Caitlyn to the field, so it hasn't just been that Quirky Graves Ezreal.
The Trinity. Yeah. And really, I mean, Quirky, he does have the high damage. Like, it's weird because I really mean a specific situation. Like, the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, Quirky's really high damage, but there's like that one point in the game where Misfortune just excels at damage and nobody else can really compare to her. And Draven kind of the same thing. And that's when we see the big plays coming out from aphromoo. And Quirky, he does kind of have times like that, but it's not like this is his death section. It's, he's a good carry all around. And that's kind of what throws me off. But
it's that escape mech. I mean, Valkyrie, even with the nerf cooldown, still very usable. People have to obviously be a little bit more mindful of it now that it's, what was it, like 11 seconds across the board or something?
It was really short.
But it was not very long, and now it's up to like 16 or 18 at the start.
I think it's actually over 20 now.
Yeah.
Like, they really made sure it's not a good escape skill for consistent use.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to think about when you're going to use it, and it just means the lower aggressiveness, higher passivity. Quirky, aphromoo, not likely to adhere to that kind of playstyle. I mean, he just doesn't do what people want him to do. I'm sure there's ways that they would really like for people to play the champions, Misfortune. They try to fix things up so that, okay, her ult's a little bit better, so she's got a better lane clearing device. You got aphromoo popping it every single fight, doing it to, dropping it to do nice damage and really making a lot of good use of it. I mean, I've seen so many people play MF, and unless there is a wave to clear, that ult never comes out.
And it really does tremendous damage.
Yeah.
You just have to exploit it, which is what aphromoo knows how to do, and that's kind of the tangent that we're going on here. He's creative.
Yeah, he looks at the champions in a way that lets them really shine on their own.
And that's how new champions come into play. Like, best example would be Lee Sin top lane. Who made that popular? Who really unlocked it? That was going to be Voyboy. And how did he do it? Well, he started maxing out his W first, which completely changed playstyle from what people were doing before. Max out the Q, go for the heavy DPS, kill. But with W, he was this unstoppable, massive, sustained killing machine. And it's like you have to always look at characters in new ways, and you can really just unlock more of their potential.
So, I mean, much like the support Morgana, Muffin Cutie taking a good look at things. He's gonna make the support Kale work, I believe. Him or Patoy, I think. Patoy is he listens to me a little bit more about that kind of thing. I'm the bug in his ear that's gonna just ruin Dignitas at the World Championships. I'm like, hey Patoy, come on, support Kale, just
do it once.
Come on, it's gonna be fine.
There you go. Come on. All right. Patoy, come on.
Just play support Kale. That's what I'm gonna do.
Give me one support Swain. He's got a root. Come on.
It always is that. I mean, Shyvana just lay dormant after release. Nobody was really playing her. You'd see her a little bit on the solo queue, but then she comes out M5, making it work up top, and then it's everybody playing Shyvana up top, and then they go, I guess she's pretty good in the jungle. And then they start playing her as a jungle.
I mean, really. Why is aphromoo the only one who plays Draven? Why is he the guy who gets to play Draven? He's a good character. We saw Yen actually playing him earlier today. Different playstyles for sure. But there's no reason that the characters aphromoo plays are only going to be good on aphromoo. You can go ahead, pick him up yourself, start learning that playstyle. if you're a good carry, if you know the skills, you can pull off his Draven shenanigans. You can do his MF stuff. You can be, crazy with those random carries. It's just, personal preference. But I think we spent a lot of time just gushing about aphromoo. Let's talk about any of these lanes.
Well, I mean,
especially
in
unique.
general, Nia Tanso plays good stuff. Oriana was
Yeah,
off the field for a very long time, and she came back into play. Even after, especially after the nerf. I mean, there were those couple people that got really popular for their Oriana play, and then the nerf, and straight back into the dumpster.
I'm actually really glad that he's playing Oriana, because the Oriana torch has been passed from Nabi Puber to Niantanso in this case. Nabi Puber definitely one of the classic Oriana players, and was really viable with her before he left orbit. So it's good to see that the Oriana torch does move along.
Yeah, we need more. We need more good Oriana players. We need some. We need some solid Kassadin players back out on the field too. I mean, Reggie will take them to town every now and again. I think Paradoxical will too. That's why I like. They're such TSM juniors. Those guys.
Oh.
The TV boys. They got a lot of similarities between those two teams.
Well, I love TD, I love TSM, so it works out.
Yeah.
I love all the little teams.
Yeah,
there
you
really
love
isn't a
all
little
teams.
team you can hate.
I don't think so. Yeah, no.
I hate Saigon Joker so much. No, they're awesome.
Brr.
It's like, can you hate Singapore Sentinels? No, their family loves them a lot, so it's adorable.
It's yeah. So Bilge winner Katarina out again. Yazuki knows what the best skin is, but Niantanso does not. Bladecraft Oriana the best one.
I don't know. I've never. The artwork actually gets me because it's very, very creepy, but I think it's kind of what they were going for, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I just I don't think it looks that great.
It's weird being able to see the inside of someone, which you kind of do with that skin.
Yeah, you just you can see right down into the thing. Her walk is really weird, but I mean it's an automaton, so
Yeah.
it works. I wish I walked like that. I'm gonna start walking like that.
All right.
Just in line.
Do your automaton thing.
Yep. So, Boots 3 Pots, is it even worth talking about now? Support goes on
what?
sports.
The normal stuff. Ward of the Wraith will probably try and do that or something. I don't think they're going to go for level 1 aggression because no one wants to go for level 1 aggression right now. And they don't, because they're just tired, I think.
Yeah.
No one wants to take a risk after that game. No one's in the risk-taking mood.
On the back of a 65-minute game, Muffin Cutie gonna drop a binding through just to get the ward down. Elimination got help from Yazuki. That's gonna make sure that everything gets down over there. And everybody just kind of reforms back to mid, hoping for, just a nice, quiet early game, a night in to read the paper.
This better not be an ARAM. Actually, I think they're both just caught. They just don't want to fight. They're just like, whatever, be safe.
Come on. Get out of here. Yeah, Oriana's lore is really morbid. It's good, though. It's an interesting lore. I'm glad they went there with that one. I mean, because then you kind of have these people who just, there's no real good reason for them to be in the league.
I'm never sure why Rammus actually showed up.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I'm magical and an armadillo and I don't care.
Woohoo! Yeah, just kind of like Ringar and Kha'Zix. Like, wait, why are they in the league? I mean, Kha'Zix and Ringar kind of fighting each other, but who joined the league first? Why? What's really,
It's like,
what's their motivation?
It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Who joined the league first, Kha'Zix or Rengar?
Yeah. I mean, technically
Wraith being
Ringar, really. I guess if we're going by release date.
True. Skarner, being played by High, starting with Wraiths, as we do have a lane switch, so Sona and Ezreal going up top. Going to be a 1v2. I believe is this the first 1v2 of the series?
It is up to did they do that in the first one? I believe so.
Okay, so not the first 1v2.
No, it is the first. Not of the entire tournament. But,
Yeah, of this series, between these,
between these guys.
of these 4 games. You're going to be in the 1v2 line, always what you want if you have to have a 1v2, or Katarina also going to be in the 1v2. We've seen Yazuki do well with her in the past, though, so let's see what happens. There's actually an invasion coming out from Xmithy, but is being spotted out by Yazuki. And actually hit by a binding, that Q does land on Yazuki too. Yazuki might go down, still level 1, doesn't really have anything to get us away from, but does make it to the turret. No one wants to tower dive that early.
Yeah, but it's going to be possibly sending Yazuki back there. Then at least have to burn through a potion or two, maybe?
With a flash down, he has to play much more cautiously in that bot lane. 2v1 lane, especially with support Morgana. You land one binding, you're dead without flash.
Yeah, gonna have to hold on to Shinpo as well once that gets leveled in, and just make absolutely sure that you don't spend that on anything early, and that you've got minions in a great position. You can go buy yourself a ward and drop one at the turret there. But York up a bit on the back of that. He's got a 6 CS lead, but the minions just getting over to the turret, and looks like should be able to get a pretty decent number of them with the Q through, and little knock on from the AoE E. But yeah, even all around for the start, for the most part, nobody getting out to an early look. Yasuki getting caught out. Will there be a return trip down from Lee Sin, or is he going to make an early look up top just to make sure the York is okay, keep everything safe? Don't want Balls getting into too much trouble early on up there by himself. Gave him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, patted him on the butt as he sent him off to his first day of kindergarten. And the kids are already picking on him.
Well, yeah, he got butt patted. I don't get why that's a big sports thing. But I mean, overall, yeah, it is weird. Overall, lanes are going to be really passive. Lee Sin looks for a gank, but he's looking to to join up with Yorick when he has that advantage. You can definitely do a good 2v2 fight if the 1v2 character has leveled up enough to be effective, which might be the case with X-Smithy that's camping up there. Could be waiting for Scar though at the same time, but he's more in an aggressive position.
So, Smithy is still hanging out in the tri-brush. The lane comes over. VT and Elimination still in on it. They're not harassing Balls too terribly much, but Smithy been here for a while for a guy that's just going to check out and walk away.
Doing quite a good job of forcing him to miss experience without even knowing it. Actually, the same thing's happening with High. High, they don't know where Lee Sin is, so being cautious, High's going to hang out in that bot turret just to make sure Yuzuki doesn't die to a 3 to 4 man gank. So overall, it's like the most defensive play.
No, they did just ping across him, rolling through the lower side near Dragon. Smithy going to come in, grab some golems as he has got vision on High down bottom. Nian Tanso and Mandatory Cloud still keep things pretty nice and even right there. Mandatory Cloud a little bit lower on health. He's got his transfuse to keep himself in good shape. High going to be all by himself down there, and aphromoo not going to be really super aggressive on the back of that. Lands a binding and not going to come in and try and force anything, any extra damage onto the jungler under the tower. Mandatory Cloud really getting the worst of the trades here as Nian Tanso having a good time with getting those combos down nicely, getting them clean, and then getting away.
The thing with aphromoo is he already uses that. Actually, Smithy up in the top lane, going for a kill on the Elimination or just going for pressure? Just looks like it's just for pressure. Exhaust is still on cooldown, so it can't really do a whole lot. Just trying to get around the map, do something. Unfortunately, because aphromoo tried to ignite Yuzuki as he shumpoed back and he couldn't go for the kill, he really lost a lot of his oomph and a lot of his scary kill potential with that. So, it gives Yuzuki actually a good chance to farm right now, and no kill for anybody so far, as this is the most passive game we've seen yet, I believe.
Yeah, nobody wants to end up in that 60-minute game. They want to. I mean, that's what it comes from. It comes with that super aggression from both sides, kind of evening out. But it really didn't in that last one. It was a huge lead that turned into super passivity. In this one, they want to play it passive, farm it up, and then find that decisive moment where they're going to be able to push that lead out into a huge direction again. Orb looking for the same thing this time, where they can just get themselves beyond reproach, one would think, but the way Orb played defensively last time was just beautiful. And they've got Sona again, they've got VT on Ezreal again, and it's still a really nice AoE composition because they're going to be able to drop not the Diana ult, but the Orianna ult from the outside and really have a lot of the same effect.
Actually, what would be a really effective combo would be Sona ultimate, Yuzuki shumpos onto somebody, then the Orianna bolt lands on Yuzuki, and then the ultimate procs on him. It'd be a very awesome combo. A very early Oracle's picked up by High, so this is just kind of how defensive the game is going to be. When you pick up an early Oracle like this, you don't want to take too many big risks. Actually, listen up in the top lane, goes into Elimination. Elimination slowed, has no HP. Can he get out of this fight? The Ignite comes in from York. Will he pick up the first blood? First blood does come out. VT, can you get away? You're looking scared, you're looking cautious, but you still have your flash up. You will be safe.
Indeed so. Not much of a lead there as it goes out to 300 gold. aphromoo going to poke onto Yasuki, and Yasuki clear. Low on health, and I mean, that's pretty much what you can expect. 7 CS difference between the two solo laners as Ball's up at 31. Going to get a little bit extra out as Katarina going to have to sit down, write an essay about the meaning of laning. And hope that the teacher is okay with it. 10 CS difference now, and in the bottom lane there, gotta say, for the AD carries, VT having a pretty good time of it. It can't really keep Balls away from the laning portion of this matchup, though, as he is very tenacious about that. High going to roll in. He's got a Yasuki in tow, and just going to drop the ult on him. Smithy goes down without a fight.
He did not expect the Yuzuki back up to finish him off with the Ignite. And High at level 6 right before Lee Sin hit level 6. It was just a very good surprise. Like, hey, I'm here to counter jungle you, but this is actually a really good gank. And it makes sense because what's Yuzuki going to do in the bot lane right now? Not a whole lot. Actually, Yuzuki, High, and Yen going together to secure this blue buff just to make sure that goes to him very, very easily. I do like that Yuzuki's helping the other parts of the map because he can't do a whole lot bottom in that 1v2.
Top outer tower going to fall down just below half health as V-Team decides he can't stand Yorick's gross dead guy face. He's going to pop a shot into it or so. Next wave of minions coming in just out of range of the ability to put anything onto the tower. Yasuki in onto two. His High's coming in from behind. aphromoo just going to stand his ground and fight that one. High not going to be able to save him though, as aphromoo going to finish that one up. He's got himself a red buff now, and High wants to get away. He's going to flash over towards the river. Binding going to land just a little off to the side and a little bit short. aphromoo can't do it. Oh, he does with the ultimate. Ult through from Ezreal helps no one.
It does look cool, though. It does look cool. And at this point, a 3-to-1 kill advantage. Only 400 gold, though, in favor of Ferus right now. So they're going to go for this dragon play. They know that High is dead. They actually killed an Oracle with that, which is a very important thing. And now they can go for this dragon fairly safely.
Yeah, 7-minute Oracle's now down to 9.5 minutes. Only 2.5 minutes on that. Not a lot of wards cleared. There's still a little bit of vision out on the field. That Tri-Brush ward is in top side brush on the bottom of the lane. Still got a ward, and just did not work out for them at all. High with a valiant effort to get away, but just had that one missile left in the chamber. aphromoo able to lock it down, and that's going to put the lead out just over 1k gold.
I believe it was also a big one, too, so...
Yeah.
A missile really designed to kill.
Yeah, huge rock. Sort of a Flintstones missile. Really.
Well, it actually killed him by putting a giant piece of meat on the side of Skarner.
Just tipped over. Put it right on that forward claw, and he was just like, oh,
no.
Yeah.
But with the composition, so they have a really aggressive early game coming in from Xmithy. They want to, use that jungling presence. Late game, they actually have a pretty cool composition. So if Xmithy focuses on peeling rather than necessarily going for aggressive dives, not trying to kill people like V-Team on his own, he can definitely prove to be really useful. So the composition right now is more about surviving. It's actually High goes top lane, but guess what? Xmithy's here to join him too, and this is kind of what you want to believe in, because 2v2s against two pro people who are fully weak is exactly what you need.
Got the ghost down, balls tanking things, and High gonna pull the ghost along. I think he wanted Smithy with that one. He's not going to get him, but what a great job by High just staying alive there. High calling GGG on himself. Just not who we
well
wanted.
Well deserved. Actually,
Yasuki low to jump over, going to finish it off, and Smithy going to be under the command of the man High. He still wins it as the ghouls come out for balls. Smithy looked like he'd accepted his fate there. Still makes it out alive. 5-1 now, and the lead up to 2K. And an exciting game here. Oh, beautiful jump. Ball's running low. Going to turn it around, get some slow on Niantanso. And the Q finishes off. Niantanso with a nice reaction sliding up top. Going to stop the hemorrhaging a bit. 1.7k gold the lead now for Ferus.
And Mandatory Clout in reaction is going to go ahead, push up that mid lane skill rate, just try and farm with that mid lane Vladimir. One of the big strengths as mid lane Vladimir is you're really good at CSing. Pretty much everything. You can kill it in 2 tides of blood if you do get start ranking it up at level 10, level 11, level 12. So Mandatory Cloud is going to have great push potential, and just if Nien ever leaves that mid lane, so much CS will get denied to that turret. It'll almost be like top lane in that regard.
And the lane is pushed over. You've got Katarina hanging out mid here, just temporarily it looks, as Niantanso going to head back. That'd be a fun one to watch with Lee Sin and Yorick up top. And he handled them at low health. We'll see how they do at full health. Elimination got his ult up as aphromoo and Muffy Q. I mean, playing this one pretty casual right there. Keep the lane kind of frozen for the time being where it is. Niantanso trying to put some damage down on a Mandatory Cloud. Smithy just hanging out, doing a little dance, practice karate, getting his Bruce Lee Sin impression up to snuff. He's going to watch the French Connection, gets the Q down onto Niantanso. Beautiful ult, gets the ult out for Mandatory Cloud. Ult from Niantanso is fantastic as well. He's going to get some help, and they are going to turn that one around. Mandatory Cloud with a long walk back home. He's not going to be making it in the traditional way. He's going to have to teleport on through the land of the dead. Niantanso still alive, and they pick up 2 for their trouble, back down to a 500 gold difference.
They're actually looking for Dragon, but unfortunately it's already dead. Oh, yeah, and going for the race actually might be his demise. aphromoo, though, there's a lot of people fighting from orbit. Ultimate comes in from Sona. aphromoo does go down. Muffy Kitty with actually a very, very slight ultimate over the wall, trying to get the CC down, but, you can't speed up time. The 3 seconds did not pass, so the stun did not land.
just bold with the maneuvers here. Everybody's starting it off a little bit slow, but once people start roaming around, they have certainly come alive very quickly here. It was a quiet first, 7 minutes of the game or so, and here in the past about the past 4 minutes, everybody just roaming around, getting some kills. V-Team elimination working on outer turret down bottom side. Muffin Cutie doing his best to hold it, but just no wave clear for him to get anything done with. Muffin Cutie gonna just have to take one right into the lumps and gonna continue following along. Just misses the binding.
This game really has kind of amped itself up from the casual start we had, right? I don't know. At the beginning of this game, I thought people were just trying to be friends.
Yeah, everybody wanted to make hugs time and lots of new friends time and
make some buds.
Yeah.
And then flip a coin, see who surrenders. But Tanso is going to secure his own blue buff, and with those 3 kills that they picked up on aphromoo, as well as X-Smithy and Mandatory Cloud, they really came back from the early loss with high on the oracles. So even though aphromoo, he does have 3 kills, V-Team doesn't have any himself. V-Team's at least keeping up in CS. He's in that Triforce arms race and doing a pretty good job himself.
Everybody loves the old Triforce arms race. A little bit ahead. Those 3 kills doing a lot, like you said. Balls on the run from High and Yazuki. Now High grabs him. Is there going to be enough damage output? Nearly pulls him out of the edge of Yazuki's ult, and the ult out from Balls with no hesitation turns it around. The Ignite takes Yazuki pretty low. Smithy in now to try to turn things around onto High. Balls certainly going to want to make it through this one. Is the Smithy ult up? It is. He's going to use it. Ian Tanso up to the top, and with no turret there's nothing he can do, and gets the kill just outside of the timing for that Ghost to still be standing.
Morgana is around in the top area, as well as Vladimir, who actually just went back to base. So, they're trying to go for these counter ganks, but they just weren't there in time. And I really do like the play from X-Smithy. It's like, help your teammate out when you see him in that situation. But because they weren't grouped up, because there weren't enough people there, they could not respond to that. And actually, because Muffin Cutie's up in that top lane, bot lane, V-Team and Elimination are going to have a very easy time pressuring aphromoo. Luckily, because they've already taken that bot turret, which actually gives them a fairly commanding lead at this point with those kills at 1.4k. Well, not fairly commanding, it's the lead. They're able to kind of control the lane because, they won for a defensive play, but because it didn't work out, too much time got wasted, and people died.
Yeah, I mean, Orb, really, they came to fight here. They've been aggressive around the map. Really, really calm early game, and it's really been both sides. Yeah, a lot of aggression on both sides. Dragon's up, and it looks like we're going to have the first Dragon fight for a bit here. Most of them have been pretty ginger engages onto the Dragon. Nobody really been in a hurry to form up for a fight. It looks like York going to be holding things up top, but that's going to turn it into a 5v4.
Skill shots just coming over the walls nonstop. I think one finally landed? Did it? No,
yeah.
Actually, barely missed High.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, barely missed him. They didn't see the Dragon go down, but, it would have been a 5v4, you're right, and that's the thing Ferus has been doing very well. They're not going for these crazy risky engages. If they see it's a 5v4, they say it's a 5v4, don't go for the Dragon. But now, 2,000 gold lead, actually Mandatory Cloud having to run from that mid lane as the end misses his ultimate. Due to that very, very sly blood pooling.
Ooh, High still playing aggressive. V-Team just going to be ignored entirely. They don't want anything to do with that as the push goes 5-man onto mid-outer. And they're going to be able to finish that one up. Crescendo could have been better, but still good enough to pick off Lee Sin. Mandatory Cloud now with a long run back to his turret. Ignite taken away. Ult across is well timed by V-Team. He's going to be able to get that one high down to the turret, more so than aphromoo. And in comes a suicidal Balls. He just has had enough of it. He got really depressed. He's been listening to a lot of Elliott Smith, and he's going to go forward. He's going to make sure that Tanso comes with him as aphromoo backs him up from the other side, and they're actually able to turn this one around. Thought that was going to be Balls. Just ripped apart Yazuki. Going to make sure, no, he stays alive, and it's going to actually be Sona that gets Yorick. aphromoo will be able to get away. That one ends up 3 for a million or something over the course of it. 4 for 2? 4 for 3?
So Yuzuki Nintanso died. High died as well. X-Smithy, Muffin Cutie, Mandatory Cloud, and Balls died. So that was a 4 for 3, but High did have an Oracle, so it almost is like a 4 for 4. High, did he buy another Oracle? I'd assume no. Maybe after he gets his big creep wave, but there's just a lot of aggression going down. Unfortunately, High keeps being the one getting it rooted under turret. Wait, did Lee Sin die twice in that fight?
Yes.
I think, yeah, okay, that was...
But, yeah, man, it's been a rough game here. in the past couple of minutes for Ferus. They're now down 3k gold. All three of their outer turrets are down, and a good chance for Orb to run away with this one, much the way they did with game number 2 yesterday. A very long, drawn-out first game. Very, very much so far a mirror of the set from yesterday.
And I mean, this has been such a long day for Ferus. They've played so many games, so many games, and it takes a toll. So if they're feeling a bit off right now, it wouldn't be surprising. It is one of the burdens that comes with gaming. Especially for tournaments like this, you might just play 10 to 15 games in a row. This can happen at live events, this can happen online. Sometimes you have to play so many games in a row.
Yep.
And we're actually probably going to see that happen at Worlds. But exhaustion, man, you got to be able to deal with long gaming sessions. I love gaming, but playing League of Legends for 12 hours, it is tiring. You've got to maintain yourself for those 12 hours.
Well, it's such a different thing than solo queue as well. I mean, solo queue you can just kind of check out mentally. Even duo queue, you're not really operating on that same level. You can be like, I'm gonna do my lane, and then I'll start paying a little bit more attention once we get in the team fight phase. A little bit more, but not a lot. And I mean, this is two teams that are very evenly matched. As far as everything we've seen this weekend shows. So they've really got to be playing on top of their game. The mental fatigue that comes from being at that level for that much of the day is one of those things that it's really impossible to express properly. It hurts, man.
It is a weird exhaustion.
Yeah.
On a side note, there's something kind of funny this game. There's only one Doran's item bought from anybody. It was Doran's Blade on the Lee Sin.
And,
so everybody just going for those big items quite quickly. So I think they're expecting the big team fights to happen soon, because that happened a lot last game. But really, there've been like lots of little skirmishes into those big team fights. And you were saying, sorry about that.
Oh, I was just going to say aphromoo. Just since we're doing fun facts, got a BF sword and his Triforce finished before he bought Boots 2. Is on Boots 2 now, 610. So again, I mean, we haven't seen it turn into team fights. That was one of those things. Orb was very much out front last time. It hasn't just been straight up team fights. It's been awkward positioning for Ferus, and Orb has been able to take advantage of it once again. And obviously they want to keep it going that way, so they're going to try and force awkward positioning for Ferus, but we haven't seen just a straight up battle of the bands kind of 5v5 out in the open. Nobody's got awkward positioning. Nobody has to worry too much about being too far away from a turret, that kind of thing. Or nobody has any turrets to retreat to, so everybody's just in it for the long.
No, Fox only final destination.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of one of the big things. They don't necessarily need to go into those big team fights. If you see your enemy out of position, this actually used to be the meta for a while, and this is why games used to have no kills until the 30-minute mark or so, because teams would not play aggressively until they saw the enemy team out of position, and when they saw them, they'd go for that fight right away. But if they weren't perfectly confident, they would not ever commit to anything, which led to the most boring and passive meta. But that's changed because people realize if you never ever take a chance, you're just going to slowly lose the game yourself if the enemy team is actually doing stuff to try and punish you for that.
And that's one of the things Ferus is really good about. They're good at taking advantage of opportunities while not overextending when they end up behind in the early game. They take a lot more risks when they have a good early game, and a lot of them tend to pay off because they're very calculated risks. But, in this case, they're behind. You see them starting to back up a little bit. Yazuki about to hop on to aphromoo here. There's a lot of minions around. Aphromoo gonna get away from that one, and the duel goes to aphromoo. Wow, that was a really, really close fight. Once again, Yazuki up onto that. Normally, that would just be somebody getting blown up, but aphromoo is so good at moving around on those AD carries. It's just impossible to pin down on anybody.
The second Yazuki was onto him, the flash came out. It's like getting away from the ultimate right away, which is the big deal there, because with that flash, he stayed alive. If he'd actually been around, if he'd actually, tried to stay in the ultimate for less than half a second, he would have gotten poked down. That's actually something really important. Yazuki already has a Deathfire Grasp and hunting guys, really what he needs to start being scary in this game. Looks like Orb is going to go straight for another dragon. Yuzuki is dead, but they see a Yorick up in the top lane deciding, hey, we can 4v4 this, we can fight this. And Yuzuki will be showing up relatively soon, or the threat at him will.
Yeah, dragon down, get a couple of wards over the wall. It's 2 eyes on the prize is better than 1 eyes on the prize, I think, is the saying. That's probably a saying. 4K difference.
Also, really smart move there was Orbit actually, waited as a group to take it. Ball's aggressed on by Yuzuki. Yuzuki's just finding people and going to press Deathfire Grasp and ult on them as quickly as he can. Yuzuki actually only level 12. Ball's level 15, having spent a lot of time up in that top lane. And you can see it with the experience. He is just way ahead of everybody on orbit except for Nian.
I wasn't sure when it was going to go. I was like, maybe I'm going to be able to talk first, but no, wasn't able to.
Cough now, cough. Nope.
Yep, 4K
it's like
gold
that
difference.
Where it's just like, hold it.
Dude, I can do
coming.
it.
Stop coming, stop coming!
23 and a half in. And, I mean, not a huge difference. Again, 4K gold, it's not an insurmountable amount of money. I know I've said it just about every game today. But, you know, when 13,000 isn't enough to win you a game, 4K gold just doesn't, it doesn't feel like all that much anymore. I've become jaded and depressed.
That's nothing, but at the same time, look at aphromoo. He's got a Triforce, he's got a BF sword. He's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, Ezreal isn't actually not that far behind him, only about behind by about 1,000k. But aphromoo in a really good spot, and he's going to be the saving grace right now. For
7-1-0 is nothing to sneeze at, especially when you've got 10 kills. That's 70% of the kills, if my math is correct.
Orbit was eyeing that Baron, but the ward is down. They're going to go ahead and possibly dissuade them. They might just go for a cheeky attempt anyways. At this point, you know, the teamfight potential is actually really strong because Mandatory Cloud almost 16. If he can hit 16, as well as have aphromoo and Balls hit 16, they're in a really good spot. Orbit's been very grouped up. Look at the experience. Nian is 17, that's fine. But the rest of the team is between 11 and 14. Well behind most of the people, most of the scary people on Ferus.
You know, what's very interesting is through, I want to say about 35 minutes, that was the case in the last game as well. It did not stop them from taking those fights. No vision on Baron, and they may be able to sneak this one out of there. Morgana going to drop a ward over the side. Not sure if Elimination going to poke into that. Going to get a binding down onto Elimination as he's rolling out of the Baron pit, but not the fullness of information that they would like. Paul's just going to send his ghost in, and oh, no ghost steal.
That would be amazing. That would be the worst.
Auto attack ghost steal.
How bad I would feel if that happened.
You can't outsmite a Yorick ghost, an uncontrolled Yorick ghost.
It's like if Yorick was used entirely for scouting, it's like, I don't even know what I would do at that point. But they have the Baron buff, now they can go aggressive. Now, the fact that aphromoo the Bloodthirster is not that scary. It's scary, still pretty scary, but not that scary.
Yeah, the Baron buff, the regen, going to help out quite a bit. They're going to have to make their stand here. Got a Cannoneer minion coming in, and that's always a good feel. Walking in, no poke onto the turret as that Cannoneer minion melts away, and they're going to have to back it up. They don't have a push coming in top. That top lane's going to start pushing the other direction just a bit. Might have one bottom in a couple of minutes, but they're still going to hang around in the neighborhood of middle inhibitor turret. High just going to run in, and the threat of that ultimate is enough to send it people scattering on the Ferus side of things. Getting everything pretty low. aphromoo pulled to the back. He is gone. Crescendo across onto Smithy. Smithy out. Yazuki's still alive. Second tick him up with Cutie's ult. Going to buy him a little bit of time. The tower gets it. Vlad going to get credit for that one as both Katarina and Skarner are off the field. Niantanso does not want Muffin Cutie to get out of this one okay, and he is going to, despite the better efforts of Niantanso, they're going to be able to get the turret and the inhibitor. So, all in all, not too bad. Lose Yazuki. Yazuki cleans house, and High going to go down, losing your tank and the Baron buff there. Not too bad. Yazuki going to be hurting a little bit more, but all in all, well played there by Orb.
And unfortunately, look at aphromoos items. What does he have? A Negatron Cloak. So he's going for that Quicksilver Sash. He knows he needs that cleanse. He cannot be ulted by Skarner, but did not have the time to actually purchase the item yet. And, you know, that was good timing coming in.
Boom.
From Orbit.
Pause.
As the pause comes in, what's up, V-Team?
Game, set, and match. We're just going to...
Bug Splat.
Oh. Been a lot of those
see those Bug Splats? Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes there's just
I've had it happen maybe like once or twice the entire time. I mean, back in the day, it happened a lot. Bug Splat on High.
A summoner has disconnected.
There goes High. Disconnecting. So nearly 8,000 gold now. I don't feel comfortable calling that a nice lead anymore.
It's an advantage. How about that?
It's a distinct advantage in the early game, but I'm terrified to call it a good lead. After that,
there were some differences. The last game, the Eddie carry was Misfortune.
Yep.
Suzuki Leaks 2, it was Misfortune versus Ezreal. And Ezreal doing well this game. Misfortune did not have a very strong game. aphromoo got beat up a lot in lane. So this time, V-Team's doing well. There is a very tanky lineup with Skarner up in the front. Actually, it's not that tanky. So it's just going to be Skarner in the front, but there's a lot of AoE CC. And it's reliable. You know, the Sona we saw do so much work last game. So if he gets a good impale off onto aphromoo, or eventually even mandatory cloud, or possibly even muffin cutie or smithy, it's going to do quite a bit of good, and they'll just pick off one target almost immediately. It's a more reliable comp just because of how much area of effect damage they do have.
A summoner has reconnected.
So high back in, and that might be the restart of this one. The 8k gold lead and 5 tower lead. A very nice one to have, and it looks like it just may have been too demoralizing for Ferus, man. It really, a really contentious game. I mean, the long game they had yesterday was not quite the same ordeal. They weren't ahead like that. It was actually, you know, a much closer game all the way through. Everybody ending up about 80,000 gold. All told, I think the lead around 3,000 at max. I think it might have poked up to 6 or 7, but I mean, never to the magnitude that they gave up today, and that might have just been too much for them.
That really hurts you.
Yeah.
Plus, it was long. It was tiring. They've been playing since 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, they started the day off beating TSM. They beat Dynamic. They beat Orbit once actually, and now here they are. You know, this is game 2. They can still come back from this. We definitely know this is possible, but I mean, it's one of those not likely situations. But Orbit, they're playing the situation very well. They have Bear buff. They haven't been cut out doing anything silly recently. Yorick finishes his War Mug. He's going to be much tankier. But at this point, you know, Orbit, if they can play it textbook, if they can be very focused with their pushes and just start taking out the outers, eventually try and siege down the inner turrets, hopefully ASAP, so aphromoo doesn't get a Quicksilver Sash, they'll be in a good spot. They'll be in a very good spot.
aphromoo gonna head home, buy himself something nice, and I spent almost all of my excitement on that last game. I'm still kind of on edge.
I'm still excited, but it's just like, what does Ferus do?
My world has been turned upside down by that last game. Orb in a good position here, though, and I mean a 2-0 in the first set. Now Orb in good shape to work through this one. I refuse to speak too soon. In the immediate moment after that last game, and this one's going to be a 3v4. Smithy onto the other side gets Yasuki blown up immediately. I got a long run to get out of here. In comes Sona with a beautiful Nintendo, and he doesn't have to leave it. Oh, mandatory cloud off the field, and sweet Jesus, Nian Tanso comes in and just absolutely adds on all the damage that they needed to finish that one up. B-Team triple kill. Why not a quadra? Nope, not going to allow it. Sona won't have it. Minions pushing into the Nexus, and that one's going to be GG as they are down for 24 seconds. Just going to go ahead and pop the surrender vote. Why wait for the work to be done when you can do it yourself?
The kick did look cool.
The kick was
right
beautiful.
Now. That was a very cool looking kick.
But
I mean,
just filing in
far
to turn
behind.
that one around.
And unfortunately, you know, Nian Tanso showed up and he killed everybody. That was it. You're right. You called it. He killed everybody. A great little pick at the end right there.
Credit to V-Team as he got the last hits on those. But
yeah, but
Nian
it was a
just
setup from Nian Tanso, yeah.
Poof, yeah, I mean, just wonderfully dropping onto all of that stuff. And that one's going to go 2-0 to Ferus in the first set, and then 2-0 over to Orb in the second set after an insanely long game. 66 minutes that first game. Second one right around the 29-10 mark. And they're going to stop the three-peat cold as Ferus can't finish it off, and Orb going to earn that crown and some good money for themselves. What a day.
Ferus, they looked good. Orbit, they looked really damn good too. Both teams, I'm excited to see what they do, what they bring. I mean, we do have the TSM off-season matches coming up. The series is going to be 6 tournaments. I believe Orbit and Ferus are both invited. Going to be 6 $3,000 tournaments with one $12,000 tournament to finish that all off based off the top 4 teams. That's going to be awesome. I really like these 2 teams. I'm really glad that they've gotten so good. They're just getting better. It's fantastic.
And talent popping up all over the place. TD, hopefully they've been having a little bit of a rough time. I mean, you make it to the winners finals. I hate to call it a rough time. It's really the rough time that they had with Ferus and Orb. TD still playing extremely well. So you got a lot of these smaller teams playing just nice League of Legends these days. I'm proud of these kids. So, like Studio said, check out championselect.net and be sure to keep an eye on SoloMid.net. We're going to have information going up about the off-season tournament. 6 $3,000 tournaments, $12,000 final for the top 4 teams. 30,000 overall. It's going to just be a beautiful event. Great way to spend the off season. So keep an eye out for it. There we go. SoloMid.net/tournament.php. That's where you can find the information on it. I'm not sure how much information's up over there just yet. But
It'll come, though.
There'll be a blog post on SoloMid.net about it. And hit that link that Steve dropped into the chat. Studio, tell them where they can find you, and we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Go to twitter.com/League of Studio or leagueofstudio.com. I do a little web series where I look at replays of high elo games and tournament games, such as tournament games from this tournament. But wow, Wombat, what about you? Where can people check you out and your 32,000 spam bots?
Yeah, my 30,000 spam bots. That was fantastic. And there's no way to contact Twitter support to just be like, hey, could you guys just undo those guys? Twitter.com/DigiWombat. That's DIGI Wombat. Check me out over there. I put in pretty much everything I'm doing. But that's going to be about it for us. Studio, any final words before I sign this one off?
It is really cool to see how good the League of Legends teams are becoming and how just the game is growing and people are getting better and games are getting more awesome. Yeah. That is all I want to say. Just if you like League of Legends, keep liking it. This game's getting so much better day by day.
It's really maturing. The understanding of the game is getting so far along. So, anyway, thank you to Studio for joining me for so much of the day. Apologies to Kobe and Malphus X. Malphus a little bit sick. Kobe moved into an apartment that casting will be a problem in. So hopefully he'll get that situation figured out pretty soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, shout-outs to all the sponsors, ChampionSelect.net, Origin, Gunner Glasses, Razer, and Ventrilo. On behalf of them, Studio, and myself, and of course, SoloMid.net, thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back, I believe, October 19th. Hopefully you'll catch us then. I look forward to getting back into the game. If not, enjoy the World Championships, and hopefully you'll see us on October 19th. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.